journey if I weren't asking for help. And a lot of people look at asking for help as being weak.
Right.
So I am so grateful that I learned early on that that is not weak, because otherwise it would have been terrifying. And I would have felt like I had to do it all myself. And it's not possible. It's exhausting. It's overwhelming to try to do all of it yourself. And of course, you're going to make errors and do things that don't need to be done. And then you get into being mean to yourself and beating yourself up for having done it wrong. And it could have all been avoided if you just asked for help. So that's the first thing, is asking for help, ask for help, ask for help. And get over whatever belief systems you have about that being a problem in whatever way you think that's a problem.
Yeah.
And learning who to ask was also an important part of the journey. It's not just anybody, it's somebody who has mastery in that particular area, right? That you don't want to, just because somebody's offering it as a class or a webinar or something, doesn't mean that they're good enough for you or that they're the right person for you.
Yeah.
And so the kind of help you ask for matters. And I know from reading thousands of hands that there are no two hands the same. So nobody is designed the same way you are. So the kind of people you need to ask for help is going to be your choice, not theirs. And you need to trust your gut. So this is the second piece of advice, is you have to learn how to have a relationship with your intuition and trust your intuition and trust your gut, trust your instincts. Like that, nothing matters more than that in terms of having things be easy. If you want it to continue being hard, you can continue to ignore your gut and instincts and intuition. But if you want things to be easier, intuition is the path. Everybody has it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has it. I was just listening to Oprah's podcast the other day about whisper. Like, you get a whisper, and if you don't listen to the whisper gets louder. And if you don't listen to that, then, it's going to get dramatic at some point. And so how dramatic does it have to get? Right? Look at your life. And she made a comment that I hadn't remembered hearing her, but I knew she had talked about this, of course, when she had her show on network TV, was that any dramatic thing that happens, the whisper has always been there. What is the whisper? What is the thing? That's always been there. What's the pattern? That's how I would talk about what's the pattern in this drama that you're suddenly feeling happened, and it's been going on all along. So your intuition helps you with that a lot. So you don't have to get into big drama.
Yes, I agree. If we were all just using our intuition and trusting ourselves, the world would be such a better place.
Well, it is for those of us who are doing it.
Yes, it is. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
And when we are not those, you and I, when we're not trusting ourselves and trusting it's painful for other people to be around us.
Right. I know. Dawn tells me the hardest thing for me, when she's in relationship with me, is when I'm not trusting something. So when I'm stuck with something, I'll say, I know I'm stuck. I know that I'm not trusting something. And I just thank you for being here for me anyway.
Yeah.
I know this is not easy, but you also love the problem solving process.
So I love it. Yeah. I love being in that space with you, because it's always beautiful. It's something magical is always coming through that, like those, and for me too, it's like there's, and it's very uncomfortable for me as well to go into those places, but always magic comes out of them. And for me, like, who do I trust? I'm thinking, like, this is really a good point too. Like, I tend to trust people who I know have my back and who actually know me. It's so hard for me to take a class or to do something. I've learned this over time. I can do it by myself as long as I'm not expecting them to give any, back and forth. But when I need some solid support, I am not asking, I can't even ask an expert or, like the guru or somebody who thinks that they know everything. I have to know somebody who knows me, like who I trust to have my back. So that's been a big thing, learning and discerning like who's got my back and who doesn't. So
Right. I would agree that that's what I do too. I hadn't put
yeah.
it in those terms, but I would agree that I've cultivated and developed
Yes.
relationships with people who have my back, and those are the people I go to first.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final things? Anything else that you think, man, I've got some airtime here. I want to share anything?
Well, I do want to say if you're quote coming out of the closet, this is what I have a lot of clients who have done this, coming out of the closet on being intuitive. This is the most common holdback that I see with my clients is people who are saying, I use intuition, I can feel it for other people, and I don't want to tell anybody I'm doing this. Right?
Yeah.
You've dealt with this with people too.
Yeah.
I hear this so often, and my wisdom on this is at some point you're just going to have to get over yourself and look at whatever the belief system is that's holding you back, because it isn't yours. Whatever that belief system is something you borrowed from somebody else. You're listening to somebody else. You're putting power outside of you, giving your power away to somebody else, and to try to keep other people happy or to take care of them in some way. That's what's happening when you're not coming out of the closet around your intuition. And I would say that issue, whatever that belief system is what needs to be addressed. That's the thing. So you're going to have to get real with yourself about who you're taking care of, because that's what's at stake. Who are you taking care of by not being out with your intuition?